Camera 1 is rolling. Task cam's rolling. Camera 3 is rolling. Are you rolling?
I should have headphones on.
Oh, you should have headphones on. I got headphones on.
But I love the RL. Just
Ooh,
really in your face. How? Oh my.
How do those feel? Pro?
Pretty good, man.
Okay, awesome. Let's start.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready, bro. I'm excited. All right. How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jared Poirier. I am here with
Michael Costa.
And you guys are lucky to be watching today because this is the first episode of something great. This is Photography Brothers right here. It's a new project that me and Michael are working on, and we'll be bringing you some episodes of Photography Brothers in the next little while. And I think this is going to be an awesome project. I'm very, very excited for it. Been watching Michael's content on YouTube for a while and really been enjoying it. And honestly, man, I just compared to so many of the creators out there, you're just so much more honest and so much more funny and just interesting to listen to, man. And that's why I wanted to do this stuff with you. Both of us have a true love for photography in our hearts. I know that's true about you and about myself as well. And there's no man I'd rather do this with. So
appreciate it, man.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate that. I will say the honest part does me good and bad sometimes.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Sometimes you lie a little bit to the client. Just a little.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you tell them what they want to hear, but you keep it pretty honest, man. In terms of your feelings about photography and your feelings about life in general and your experience in photography, I think there's a lot of people out there who just like to pretend that they're perfect geniuses and every photo they've ever shot has been totally perfect.
Quote-unquote bangers.
Yeah, they're all bangers. They're all, you're always looking through them and just going, woo, every time. They're all woo photos. But yeah, man, I really like hearing some of the stories of behind the scenes of your shoots and all of that type of stuff is very interesting to hear. Hey, that's still rolling. That's good. All right, so here on Photography Brothers, what we're gonna do, we both prepared some topics today. I came up with some pretty good ones, I thought, and then Mr. Michael Costa showed me his topics, and I'm a little bit jealous. I think that his are better than mine. So why don't you just take it away, man? Why don't you go first?
Really?
So
okay.
we'll do a few topics, and then we'll go into the news, photography news. So what do you got for us, topic wise, buddy?
So the first topic I want to introduce was around basically like some of the key learnings or like the biggest key learning you had during one of your first few gigs.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Nice.
So I mean, do you want me to answer first, or do you want to answer? What do you want to do here, man?
I don't know. This one's I had to come up with something off the top of my head for this one. I mean, in particular stories. Okay, I have a story. Yeah, this one is perfect. When I first started, before I even picked up my 6D. How's my hair, by the way? Is it pretty good?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Man.
Thanks, man.
Fantastic. Maybelline's going to be contacting you real soon.
Maybelline. Yeah, they're going to be sponsoring the Photography Brothers.
Please.
Sponsored by Maybelline. That makes a lot of sense.
If the marketing brand rep is watching this, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we can't get any camera companies to sponsor us, so hopefully Maybelline will. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, we are shooting here today in beautiful Laughing Viking Studio. Probably should have mentioned that at the beginning. So here's a story for you guys. Back in the day when I started shooting, I was doing videography and really just kind of doing it for myself at the time, just like passion projects and things like that. One of my first paid gigs I ever got was shooting a play, like a live play with actors and stuff, kind of a weird concept these days. And I got hired to do that, and I really was gung-ho about it. I was super excited, and I actually ended up cutting a trailer for them. So I shot the entire play and cut the trailer. And what I didn't really know at the time is that the gear that I had, I was rocking a Canon T5i, I think,
Okay.
with like a kit lens. It did pretty well when I have good lighting. I mean, like in a studio condition like this, it would even probably do okay. We've got a lot of lights and things like that. I learned pretty quickly that in a dark theater, it might not do as well, and you might need a bit of specialized gear. Using my kit lens as well, I think maybe maxed out at like 60 millimeters or something, so I wasn't really able to zoom in very much. And so I mean, with my editing skills, I was able to make something with that video that I was still pretty proud of. But it was pretty grainy, and it wasn't really like the type of work that I wanted to be doing. So just a good learning lesson for me, kind of jumping in the deep end, trying something out, and then ultimately not failing, but when I was reviewing the footage and stuff like that, and seeing that it was grainy, and being like, oh man, like if I just had better gear and a better setup. But I think that's really like what you need to start out, and you need to make those mistakes, and then you realize, okay, why do I need to spend $3,000 or $4 or $5 or whatever on a camera? When if you don't know why you need it, I wouldn't recommend doing it. So book some shoots, make some mistakes, and figure out your way. So that's my story. What's yours?
Well, just to touch on that, very interesting. Like it's funny how many mistakes I would assume everyone, if not, hopefully it's not just me, but how many mistakes everyone made when they were getting started, where it was like our Photoshop or video editing abilities got significantly better because we had to find a way to like make this thing work.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh wow, I've really familiarized myself with highlights and shadows. I'll tell you that right
definitely.
now. So that was a great story, man.
Thanks, man.
For me, it was a lot more like I had a lot of lessons similar to yours, but also around like customer interaction or client interaction. So like I remember when I started off, just like a lot of people, just reaching out to a lot of people, companies, being like, hey, like I'll shoot your stuff for free, like just wanted to build my portfolio, and then obviously with like the hopes that maybe there's a relationship that starts and sparks and whatever, right? And so I had done a couple of those. I was starting to get a little cocky, right? Doing free gigs. And there was a company, I don't remember the name, and I don't even know if it's good for me to say their name, but they were it was like a designer scarf company, and they're based out of Phoenix, Arizona. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Just had to double check my geo there. And so I was like, hey, like I really want to shoot your stuff. Here's some of the apparel stuff I've done. And like, okay, cool. Here's a couple of things we have in mind. If you could get a stylist on set, whatever. I'm like, stylist on set? What are you talking about, man? Like, I'm doing this for free. What are you talking about? And I kind of ignored a little bit of their feedback, and there were some gray areas where like I didn't completely understand what they wanted, and I kind of just took that and went, I'm just gonna take really good photos, and I'm gonna shoot it through my own scope, like, or what I think will look good. But the thing that sucked about it was that, so I take the photos, they actually turned out pretty good. I sent it to them, and they're like, we're not using these. These are not at all what we wanted, right? And obviously there is the part of it where it's like, hey, it's free photos. But the other part of it too is like, when they see this, maybe they start planning towards some collateral or some Instagram content they're going to put out or whatever. Yeah. And if it doesn't fit what the messaging they're going for is, they're not going to use it. And so it was a massive waste of time for me. Yeah. And what I learned from it was like, okay, the things you don't know, ask questions, and the things that they tell you are important. Yeah, so pay attention.
Yeah, definitely, man. And again, it goes back to that thing of like, there's really no way for you to learn that, right? There was really no there's no course online even that's going to teach you that. Like it's all about experience. It's all about getting in the game and figuring things out on set, and all the theory in the world is not going to do you a lot of good. Because I spent a lot of time like reading about photography theory and like lighting theory and stuff like that. When you get it on set, or you get into, especially if you try to like shoot outdoors or something, heaven forbid, that stuff goes out the window 100%. Like where you're placing your lights and everything, it's just going to depend on the scenario, and it all just takes practice, like anything else, right?
I so prefer natural light, though. Yeah, I gotta say.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's just it's tough to manage, but takes experience as well. So yeah, those are both good stories. I like those.
It's the interesting thing too is like, you mentioned it being something you really kind of just got to experience and learn from, right? I had a podcast on my channel with a guy called Avery, really talented photographer. He does a lot of video primarily though, and he's in school. You know, like he's in school. I think it's Ryerson or Humber, and you know, the reason I wanted to talk to him because I was wondering, you know, for the most part, a lot of the people that get into this industry actually don't go to school for it.
Yeah.
Right. And so like I wanted to talk to him and understand what are you taking out of this versus like what I'm taking out of it and how we grow in the beginning of our stages of our careers, right? And I think no matter what, like I think the majority of it is just opportunity, co-ops, stuff like that. I'm sure there's some really good information that you pick up as well. But at the end of the day, things like that, like customer communication, you know, maybe some of the technical stuff, but in scenario, under the gun, under pressure, you only learn then. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like theory is great, but hands-on is always important.
Yeah. So I guess if you were to take advice from this podcast or whatever, I don't know why you would, but the advice is get out there and shoot. Do passion projects. Do it while you're coming up, even if you have to work for free or you know, for a couple of $100, and put your effort into it. Even if you are doing it for free, don't have that mindset of like, oh, I'm doing this for free, so you know, screw them. Right? don't have that attitude, because you're right, when they're reviewing those photos, and if they don't want to use them at all, or that video or whatever, if they don't want to use it at all, it's a complete waste of time on both sides, and it's not going to get you a gig in the future, right? Which is why you're kind of slugging it out in the first place.
Exactly.
So, yeah, sweet. All right, next topic.
Yeah, your question.
I got one. Okay, sweet. So this is one that I've been thinking about for a while, and especially in light of all the new things going on in the world and in Toronto and stuff like that. I've just been wondering about like finding resources for learning about photography and talking to other photographers, and you know, having like those type of resources. A lot of what I used to do was like go to camera stores and talk to the people there, and there's a lot less of that now. Camera stores aren't open the same hours they used to be. You're waiting in line. You're, you know, asking a bunch of questions at the door. You can't just walk in and, you know, what's the latest and blah blah blah. What's going on with these, you know, new Sony cameras? What's that? Shooting the shit and stuff like that. So what are you doing now that things have sort of changed? There's less in-person events, less opportunity to go to the camera store and learn. How have you been like communicating with other photographers and learning from other people who have been in the game?
Yeah, so for me, like I think I have been as affected because I've always been very like reliant on online learning. Recently been doing some LinkedIn learning as well, so that's been cool. But that's been more from like a foundational standpoint from a business side. But the other thing too is, you know, for me throughout the pandemic, I guess the more of the questions that I've had has been more around like, hey, how do I go full time doing this thing that I really, really love, right? Nice. And so it's been really cool to reach out to people like you, like people like Jamie. I have a couple other friends as well, and it's been really interesting because everyone's
Creative 7, look them up on YouTube.
Yes, please. Just really good insight from different people. You know, from you, really good advice, actually, like from the financial side.
Yeah, we had a good chat. That was fun.
Really good chat. Some sales strategy, stuff like that. Jamie really helped me like narrow down, you know, target markets. And then I talked to somebody else and it was a lot more personal. He's like, you know, got to make sure the people around you understand like the commitment and like really, really cool stuff. And yeah, I think oddly enough, before I was heavily reliant on online to give me advice. In a moment where social distancing and being around people is less frequent, I've actually been talking to more photographers and getting their input on questions that I have.
Yeah, learning the business side a little bit more as well. It's kind of an unexpected twist that you took, but I actually like that a lot. Like the business.
You never know where I'm going.
Never know. This guy's swerving all over the place. I can't keep track. But yeah, just that's such a big thing in photography, man. You can be the most skilled photographer, and I've seen lots of them. People whose photos that I honestly, like, I look at them and I'm like, man, I could never shoot a photo like that. Like, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20 years, I'll have that level of like understanding of light and control and everything like that. And meanwhile, like, they can't make money like I can because they don't know the business. And that's something that's actually been coming up like a lot in my life lately, just as, you know, it's been a tighter year for money for a lot of people. And, you know, people are really concerned about that type of stuff. And then when you're thinking about like an artistic context, like that's something that so many artists like want to work on, just their passion projects and just their things. And, you know, I love doing that. Like, I've got YouTube channels that I do for free, and, you know, I have passions for movies and music and everything like that. But at the end of the day, like, if you don't find a way to come up with a business structure and you don't find a way to like keep some money in the bank, then you just can't do the creative things that you love to do, right? So, you know, people say like, oh, people want to say you sold out, whatever. Like, I don't know what that means. To me, it's like, I'm making enough money that I get to keep doing this. I get to sit in a room with somebody like you. I get to be in the studio, be around, you know, my people who inspire me and doing the things that inspire me. So, yeah, like that's really what it is. If you take this stuff seriously, if you want a career in photography, don't spend all your time, you know, on lenses and what's the new this and sensors and blah 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 blah. You know, that's all great. You gotta learn all of that stuff, but yeah, also take some time for the business side.
I think an interesting thing you brought up, I want to tie that back to a good piece of advice, actually, and actually it ties back to what I was saying a little bit earlier as well, which is, like, you were saying how there are some things that you feel very strongly about that you're very good at, and then there's some things that you don't feel like you have room to grow on, right? And of course you have room to grow even in things you're good at. Of course, everyone is. Everyone can grow, but I think the networking in like community is so incredibly important. And I think when it comes to something like this, in photography or anything artistic and creative, some people get really I think they put the shields up, and they kind of deflect, and they don't want to communicate honestly back and forth, and they're scared of competition, right?
You want to keep your secrets to yourself.
But I think it's so incredibly important to find those people that are strong in the places where you aren't. And sometimes that happens organically. You meet them at a meetup or an event or whatever, and you recognize those things. And those are things, when you recognize them, make sure you hold on to it, you know? Because that's how you're going to progress and grow. When you shut out, you're never going to grow. Yeah,
you're going to be by yourself. And you're not going to be really learning. I mean, you can watch YouTube or whatever, but, you know, the real stuff that I've learned has been from other people, and, you know, just getting together and having a coffee and having a chat, whether the cameras are on or not, you know, like we're doing now. So.
Because here's the thing, too. You watch a YouTube video, and you watch this guy with a backwards cap, and he's brewing his coffee, and he's a secondhand Kinnan, right? and you go, okay, you're giving me advice, and you kind of look like a guy that I know is experienced, but how do I know what you're speaking to is something you read about and read a thing about, or made a video about, or is actually applicable information that you've applied?
That's true,
right. When you're like, when I know you and I know that you've had a business for however many years, and like, okay, so he's really good at this, and I've had conversations with you, I'm like, wow, he's very smart sales wise. Like, I know that I can lean on you and ask you those questions and know that I'm getting good advice back. I know I can, because I have the proofs in the pudding. Right?
You're getting real stories and not just like something that's been regurgitated, right? That someone took notes of Peter McKinnon's videos and then made their own. I know it happens, but we're here making original content.
Yes.
Very serious. Okay, we got, man, this is going so well. What do we got here? We got about 15 more minutes.
Okay.
All right, so we need about, we'll split it in half. We got one more topic. We'll do one more of your topics, and we'll go to the news.
You had some good topics, too.
I know, bro. Save them for next time. This is why this is episode 1.
All right.
It's episode 1 of Photography Brothers, brother.
Okay. Let me remember my second question.
All right,
I have it readily available, though.
Oh, the curtain's down now, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's reading his notes.
Okay.
I would never use notes.
No, there is not a sheet of paper hiding behind this board.
Okay.
Okay, so I think this is a really valuable question to answer,
Nice.
and I don't know that we have all the answers. We just have our own perspective, but how do you get over imposter syndrome or feeling like you're not the right guy for the job or whatever when you're on set? You know what I mean? Like, how do you get over that and stay confident and get the content you need to get?
Yeah, I guess I get that sometimes. I kind of have a bit of a foolhardy attitude with things. I'm pretty like cavalier with doing stuff. I like to plan things, but ultimately, like I said before, you can make all the plans in the world, and it's important to do that. Plan, 100%. But when you actually get there, it's going to be totally different. And I think just literally just doing it gives you the confidence a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're feeling like I'm not good enough to do this, like I felt that way a lot of times, and then I do get onto a set, or you know, I am doing work, and even in a situation where there's like other photographers, you know, other directors of photography, cinematographers, and stuff like that. And when I'm able to talk to them, communicate with them like on their level using their lingo, it absolutely just like it's a huge boost to my confidence and my ability to keep doing it. But there's never been a gig in the world that I've gone into and been like, this is in the bag, right? I'm always like, it honestly shouldn't ever be like that, because if it's in the bag, then you're not growing, you're not experimenting, you're not you know, you're not pushing yourself, you're not trying to do something special. Like, yeah, you want to have like the base level of an acceptable piece of work, of course, but you also need room for experimentation, and you also need to just have the bravery to be like, you know, get behind the wheel and, you know, then figure out what, you know, where you're going. Kind of, you know what I mean? It's 100%. Kind of like that. Yeah, it's like you kind of jump first, and then, you know, once you're in the air, you're flying already, 100%. You know, and then you kind of figure out, okay, where are we going to land type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, so there's really no there's no preparation that you can do. There's nothing that you can read. There's nothing that you could really, you know, there's no person who you can talk to that's going to get you out of that feeling. I think you get out in the fields, you know, and prove your chops that way, and then you know, I think that'll take care of itself.
Yeah, it's really good advice. I think it really is just doing.
Yeah.
You know, and especially early on, like you don't have as much experience. Maybe that anxiety is a bit higher.
Exactly.
You really do just got to do. And I think a really important thing is like, hey, like when you take photos and they didn't work, really reflect, why didn't it work? You know what I mean? Like, okay, well the lights were low, but why were they low? You know what I mean? Like, were you in the wrong spot? Were you whatever, right? I think it's just reflecting, man. Like you said, you just got to do it. And you got to understand what things you got to improve on. And as far as that anxiety and just dealing with it, you know, on the moment, just remember, like, you know, in a couple hours we'll be done. In a few hours we'll be done. I'm just gonna go in, do literally. This is weird. I find a lot of comfort, and I've tried giving this advice to people around me, and they go like, it doesn't help me. Like, I don't know, it helps me. I go, literally, all I can do is my best, right? So if you go in there wholeheartedly doing your best, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's life. Like, unless it's Coca-Cola, like, you still have a career. Don't worry. It's fine. You know, even if it's Coca-Cola, whatever, you have a shot of Pepsi.
You might not get hired by Coca-Cola again, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you'd want to get hired by Coca-Cola again.
I know.
You know what I mean? Some Christmas ads or something, you know.
For real,
but,
bro.
Yeah, but just have faith, you know, in the process. And then, like, later on, when you are more comfortable, I think even now, like, I've shot so many gigs, and I still get that anxiety sometimes, but it's just at that point, it's like, have confidence that you know what you're doing. Have confidence in things that you do well, and then just go with the flow, you know?
Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah. I think that's been kind of the theme overall today. Is, you know, photography, it's like making love.
It is. I don't know how I feel about you locking eyes with me when you said it.
But, you know, you could talk about it all day, and you could say, you know, okay, do this, do that. But it's all about getting into it. And
you
really
just got to get that first kiss in. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So lead in and kiss. Don't kiss your client. I mean, I know how intimate you and your clients are, but...
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. It all depends. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. Okay, how are we doing now? 23... Yeah, that was like half of it. Cool. All right, we got like 8 minutes for news. It's time for Photography Bros news, guys. And this is exciting because this is your source for the latest and greatest news in photography.
Are we going to have like a like one of those like in a news break?
I don't know. Depends on how lazy I am when I'm editing this. I might. Okay, so today's first news story is out of the BBC, and we have the title here, Malaysian man finds monkey selfies on lost phone.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, so we have a student in Malaysia, a 20-year-old student, and he claims that a group of monkeys, those naughty monkeys, they stole his cell phone, and they were naughty with it. They took some pictures with his cell phone, and when it was returned, it had all types of monkey selfies, monkey videography, and monkey photography on the phone. And I just want to bring this up here so you guys know, anybody who's out there in the photography game, look out, because the monkeys are getting into it now. And I ended up doing a little bit more research on the topic, really digging deep here. And I found another case in 2011. There was actually a rights dispute between a photographer named David Slater.
And a monkey?
And a monkey, a macaque named Naruto. And it got all the way into courts in the U.S.
Really?
Over the rights, yeah. And PETA was funding the case on behalf of Naruto the macaque.
Okay.
And Naruto did actually get defeated in court. But it's just worrying to me, you know, guys. As a photographer, it's worrying. Like, there has been some precedent here that we're not giving the rights to the monkeys. It doesn't matter if they shot the photos or not. Like, David here, you better believe he did the setting, because a monkey doesn't know.
You know what I'm really concerned about?
What are you worried about?
Because here's the thing. Now we have 2 cases here.
This is 2.
2 cases within the last
at least
10 years.
That's just from what I could find Googling on my phone.
I'm sure if you Google it, thousands.
Probably thousands of monkeys out here.
Here's what I'm concerned about. Right? We were just talking about there's competition, whatever. There's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
You get monkeys taking photos now.
They
learn about the flipping the screen. You start shooting out of the other camera.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Man, we gotta compete with monkeys. We can't compete with those wages.
No,
they're just
bro.
gonna take bananas.
They're getting paid in bananas,
man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And they got they have good eyes. They have good eyes, monkeys.
Yeah, those selfies were good, man.
They were good. I'll throw some of them up here.
Yeah, please.
We'll get some of those monkey selfies rolling, and then some of Naruto.
Naruto, yes.
Naruto, we'll throw him up there. Yeah, man, and like these photos are pretty good, so I'm getting pretty worried about these monkeys coming in. So, just keep practicing, guys. Stay on top of your game. Make sure you're staying on top of your research. Meeting with your friends in photography, learning everything that you can learn, the business. How to keep your models happy. How to have the best gear, all of that. Because, these monkeys are going to be making it hard in the game. And I've got another news story. Do you got a news story?
Go for it, man. Go for it. This is great.
How are we doing? You got a time for a news story? Do a news story.
Do a news story?
Yeah, you got one?
Yours is a lot funnier, though, man. I like the
monkey
one.
one's done. My next one's not as good.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this is what. I want to talk about the recently announced A3000.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So really interesting. So Sony's releasing another crop sensor. Its form factor is way closer to like a DSLR.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's like an approach to trying to help some people transition into mirrorless that are like diehard DSLR folks.
I like my big grips.
Big grips, right? You want your camera to weigh like 1,000 pounds, right? But really impressive. So it's launching at $399 starting cost. It includes the lens, right? The body has in-body stabilization. The lens has in-body stabilization.
$4,000?
No, $399.
What?
Yes. Okay.
Bro, I'm gonna buy that right now.
I know, man. It's using a different focus system than we're used to. But I mean, Sony's always been so good with autofocus and not having any hunting. It's like I trust them. But I'm not really sure where they cut costs here. I know they're not doing 4K. It's 1080 60 frame, which is still more than reasonable. Like the majority of people don't have 4K displays anyways, right?
No point. Yeah.
But that is crazy, man.
Nuts.
That they're adding this to the market. And I don't know, like, does it help them?
So I don't think that this is going to people who are buying pro level gear, those $4,000 or $5,000 cameras, like the Sony A7 III, 4, what are they at now?
The A7 IIIs. I don't. Is there an A7?
Maybe not yet.
R4 or no?
Anyways,
I don't think
whatever.
there's 4s yet.
The expensive Sonys
Can't keep track, man.
and the expensive Canons, the R5, the R6, things that are costing you, up to $5,000 or $6,000 for the body alone.
Yeah.
Real professional photographers are going to use this. This might get some of the entry level people who used to buy like an entry level DSLR, T7i or whatever. Maybe they'll be moving to this. You know what though? To compete with like a Canon DSLR, even like a full frame, like something like I have, like the 6D, when you're looking at paying $1,500 for that, or $500 and getting newer technology, in body stabilization and all of that type of stuff, and a mirrorless camera as well, which is newer technology. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah.
I think there is one more play here, though, which is especially if you're a content creator and if you're shooting Sony, it's using E-mount. So if you have a lens collection, or it doesn't matter, it's kind of coming with a lens anyways.
Yeah.
But you just want a secondary camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your second angle or whatever.
True,
like $399. You're getting 1080, 60 frame, good autofocus system you can trust in Sony.
Yeah.
You're getting in-body stabilization, right? Maybe you're doing run-around vlogs and you want a cheaper vlog camera. Like, it's a very good option as well, even as just a secondary.
Yeah, because I'm pretty afraid to take this thing skateboarding. I do it, but I'm scared sometimes.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
And if I was holding something a third of the cost, I mean, that's a pretty thrilling concept. So
what if you're skateboarding on that, you drop it, monkey catches it, runs
and
away.
a monkey catches it, bro? I wish it smashed, because that monkey got it. I got one more story, more news story, and we'll call it a day. And we'll get out of the studio into the world. We got a nice day to experience today.
Yeah, really hot out.
I got a lot of video editing to do and crap like that, but I'll probably see the sun anyways. Okay, so this story is from CNN. It's not going to be as good as the monkey story, guys. Don't get your hopes up. World's biggest camera could unlock the secrets of the universe. So this is the biggest camera that's ever been built in history. We're talking about a 3,200 megapixel camera. So for those of you counting at home, that is 3.2 billion pixels. What do you do with that?
I'm assuming you did that math beforehand, or did you just do that on the
Oh no, I did that. I'm real good at math.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking millions and billions, my accounting software.
All right. If someone knows the answer to 2 + 5, let me know.
Let this guy know. He's not great at math.
That is unreal.
It's unreal.
So are they making that for like astrology purposes?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
So it's an astrology camera. So they are currently building it right now. The sensor is done and it can take photos. So it's just a matter of, I guess, like hooking it up to some type of telescope rig and taking photos. The camera itself, as we said, 3.2 billion pixels. It has cost, well, by the time it's done, it's going to cost almost $200 million, 168 million. So
pocket change.
Pocket change. As I said, it will unlock the secrets of the stars. It can view any space objects, suns, planets, things that are 100 million times darker than what you can detect with your naked eye. So we're talking serious numbers here, and this is going to be able to capture an image of 20 billion galaxies. And this might be the key to figuring out dark matter, and all of these dark energy and all of these the secrets of the stars. Once they get this thing up and running, right now, guess what they're doing with it? They're taking pictures of broccoli, ladies and gentlemen. So
Sorry,
no, they're training monkeys to do it. Oh my God!
They're gonna be astrologists now too. They're taking all our jobs. Okay.
First, they sent monkeys to space.
I know.
Yeah.
So broccoli?
Broccoli. You guys want to see what 3.2 billion pixel picture of broccoli looks like? This is what it looks like.
Bam.
Bam.
Bam. I'm assuming you put it on the screen.
I'm gonna put it on there, man.
It's like you just put, bam, link in bio.
Damn, link in bio. That's so lazy.
I know.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we've got you know, it's just a lot to think about, man.
That's so cool.
A lot
I
to think
love
about.
space.
Yeah.
Man. I think one of the things I've been crazy addicted to since the pandemic is just watching every Neil deGrasse Tyson video ever.
Cool, man. Wow.
He's
That's
just
a
so
good
interesting,
use of your
man, and he
time.
makes space so cool.
Yeah, space is cool
Yeah.
and scary. Makes you
Oh,
feel
terrified.
insignificant sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe they'll let us use it. If you guys,
Yeah.
whoever's building this big telescope camera thing, Photography Bros, will sponsor you.
Yeah. We'll do an unboxing.
We'll do an unboxing.
You'll bring it in with the 4-track.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
and I'll use the crowbar or something and you
That's
pop
sick,
off
bro.
the crate
I like
cap.
that.
Yeah.
We'll do it. If
We'll
you
do
guys
it.
send us one, if you send us a telescope like this, a camera like this, I'd even take 2.2 billion pixels, okay? And we'll do an unboxing.
That's
for
a
you guys.
compromise, yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
We got a day to enjoy. This has been super fun,
Yeah.
as always. I always love hanging out with you, man.
Yeah, man,
You're
likewise.
a good dude, and you have nice camera gear.
That's why I'm here.
That's why he's here. No. You're here because you're a gent. Because you're really here because you have a love of photography in your heart,
man.
and that's what it's all about here at PHOTOBROS. And listen, guys, this has been our first episode. I really appreciate you tuning in. It's been a lot of fun to have you guys here. Next time, we're going to do another one of these, maybe a month from now, whatever.
Yeah.
This guy's busy, so I'm trying to get him out. It was hard. We'll be doing it again soon. We'll bring you another episode of PHOTOBROS. There'll be some exciting news, some great stories. We didn't even get to all of our topics, so
Yeah.
you want to find our topics on episode 2. We already have some great ones. So thank you, Michael Costa. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yes.
Laughing Vikings. Come shoot here.
Awesome.
Freaking amazing. How
Yeah.
was the studio
I love it,
experience
man.
today?
I love
Amazing.
it.
All the stuff is here. We got lights, cameras, and action. Okay.
And sanitizer.
And sanitizer.
Yeah.
We're keeping it sanitary.
This is
That's,
ASMR.
you hear that? That is the sound of
Cleanliness.
and safety. All right, guys, stay safe out there. Come back and join us for the next episode of Photography Brothers. Subscribe to the Galaxy Design channel, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.